Hello and welcome today to the thing that I am shooting. Yes, it's an introspective look into generational social issues. So follow along. Hey guys, I'm Boot. We're in New Jersey, and today, well guys, I'd like to ask you a question today. Would you like to live in a society that doesn't enslave people to working a job that you hate, to making money, to pay bills, to pay taxes, to buy things just to barely scrape by, broke, unfulfilled, and without purpose or companionship in some cases? Wouldn't you rather live in favor of living your life the way you could or wanted to, all while having all of your needs met? And if you do choose to work, it will be in service of advancing all of mankind instead of some of mankind. Well, if that sounds good to you, then I need to let you know that today I'm having a full-blown old man screaming from the porch, shaking my fist at the clouds, "Oh, get off my lawn!" moment. So I want to talk about nature versus nurture. The reason is because we can see the divides between the generations. Kids are learning from other kids, and that means that there's going to be misinformation that gets spread all around. My niece going to school, one day she came home and she tried to explain that one of her friends had told her how sex changes work. And she called it transgender because she couldn't say transgender. But she was trying to tell me that, doctors had a big refrigerator full of parts that when you wanted to get a sex change, they would trade off your parts for some parts that somebody else had donated. And that's how sex changes were done. So obviously you can see where misinformation comes into play. Growing up, there was a big joke that Asians had a sideways gash. And so, we would make jokes to virgins who didn't understand that they didn't have a sideways gash. Very racist, I guess, maybe in a way. But these were things that we grew up hearing from other kids that we believed. Anyways, kids in my generation, we saw adults as role models. A lot of the shows we watched had adults in them that we idolized, and we kind of wanted to be adults. We couldn't wait to grow up. We followed the things we were taught. Now, kids shows have kids that they're being idolized, for doing impossible things, leading to unrealistic expectations and more misinformation because cartoons are cartoons and they can do everything and anything. And of course, in this age of information, it means that, kids are going to be teaching your kids how to do bad things and get away with it. We've been there, we've done that, or thought about doing it in our day, so we know the tricks. But we also had smaller circles of reference. Most of us decided from second grade on we weren't going to be assholes or deviants. Well, some of us. And then some of us went on to use that deviant behavior later in high school years, ruining any chance of academic success, while others of us thrive. It was a rebellion. That's what we did. And, only in time to straighten out by 21 years of age, for those of us who did. Not everybody did, but some of us did. And, it took me till 35 to get my act together enough to even call it an act. And now I'm 45. And I've been on this path for only like 10 years, which means nothing to my 30 plus, 35 years of play stupid games, win stupid prizes, behavior, and experiences, which I can say I wouldn't trade for anything in the world. However, that's where, if I knew then what I know now, that saying comes into play. Kids, I think the main thing here is that adults aren't the enemy. We just want to set you up for success. Yes, we can be hard on you. Yes, we want you to have fun, but we don't want you to have so much fun that you end up in the hospital or dead. God forbid. We want you to be able to understand the things that we had to spend decades learning the hard way and try to give you that hindsight so that you can make better decisions for your own life moving forward. Like literally the ability to make decisions, informed decisions for yourself. And that just seems like we're trying to do what's right for you. But if you get out of line, it absolutely is every one of our, as adults and parents, it is every one of our job to keep you in line, to call you out on your BS. And when you're wrong, just admit you're wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're not wrong and you're absolutely right, have a respectful conversation. Be empathetic and understanding. Although you may have to understand that some people think they're right always and you'll never be able to change everyone's mind. Some fights just aren't worth it. And I feel like the big disconnect here is that the newer generations seem to have a huge lack of respect for everyone in public and seem extremely entitled. Now, yeah, you're entitled in your own little view, in your own little world, to yourself to do most things in this world. But not everybody's view will always align with yours. And that's okay. Not everyone will agree with everything. But rather than fight about the differences, maybe create a discussion about why you can agree based on merit, or continue to agree to disagree. But if there's at least an understanding of somebody else's intentions and the feelings about those intentions, then we can't fully judge if we don't agree or disagree. The point of this video is to maybe change maybe one mind out there. And if more people can even understand this, this is what I would love to see and be a part of. Even, millennia from now, to have been some small part of the evolution of a forward-thinking, forward-looking society, where people are not ruled by money or fancy things, but exist purely to be a part of moving mankind forward and enjoying life, we would have a much better world. That's about all I got for today, so thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next one.